Welcome in, welcome back, Original Soul. Thank you for showing up and bringing your energy to this reading. Let's jump into the reading, shall we? I've got oracle cards out already, and then we'll add some tarot, spirit animal, a couple other things to it. All right, I hope you are doing well. So up at the top of the reading, Horus, god of kingship, the letter B, also associated with the number 2, and the keyword strength on this card. Right, so just for you personally, when you hear the word strength, what comes to your mind? Is this something that's more of like a big, physically strong sort of energy? Like what's pictured on this card, right? There's some sort of battle, of fighting, overcoming, something there. Or is there any sort of more maybe kind of subtle strength, right? We can have mental strength, emotional strength. So strength up at the top of the reading. So maybe there's something you've had to be strong, possibly a situation that you've been going through, or something that you've been facing. But again, just think about that a little bit of what strength means to you, because everything does have sort of a masculine and feminine energy. And in this reading, there's a lot of sort of feminine energy coming out, minus maybe this card up at the top definitely feels more masculine just in the imagery. It is Horus. Again, there's a battle going on in that card, so that's a lot of that yang energy. And then we've got a lot of this yin energy going through the rest of it. So just something right at the top, strength up at the top of the reading. So again, maybe you've been strong, maybe you need some strength for something you've been going through. But strength, a prominent energy, either available or around you for this upcoming week here. Okay. And then, like I was saying, we've got a lot of feminine energy out, so I pulled a rune out of my Witch's Rune set. Let me see if I can hold this up so you can see. There we go. All right, so this is the Woman rune. So this is feminine energy, healing, nurturing, caring, all of those sorts of qualities, that mothering sort of energy. So like I said, that is a prominent energy here. So that might be something that needs to come in. I'm getting a lot of just more kind of stillness energy with the rest of these cards. So let's run through them. So the Witness, number 64. Beautiful image on this card. In one hand, it looks like she's got an eye there, and that kind of reminded me of the Eye of Horus. So a little bit of synchronicity coming in there. Maybe some confirmation if that's meaningful to anyone. And then Coyote also came out, number 12. All right, so the Witness card is more of an observer sort of energy. So like I said, in that first card with that strength and kind of showing that battle, and it looks like there's some fighting or aggressiveness. The Witness is more about being an observer, a witness to something, noticing what's happening around you and taking that in. So that's where some of that stillness comes in. Possibly more of that observer energy over reactionary energy, especially if you do tend to react quickly or maybe have a hot temper, something like that, right? It can be helpful to not always go flying off the handle or not always being in battle mode, because that does bring in a lot of stress energy into the body. And with the way your body, right, releases chemicals, you are your own pharmacy, kind of living in that sort of combativeness or that sort of high, aggressive, tense sort of energy can really offset a lot of things make things really discombobulated, maybe not running fully at your best. So more of that observer energy, more of, again, just noticing whether that's your patterns or just your mood. Maybe just paying attention to what other people are doing and are saying around you as well, and then how you feel while that's happening. Maybe if you can get out of your head a little bit and more in your body, get more into your intuition, which is also more of that yin sort of energy, that still energy. So I'll just go ahead and say it. Meditation might be helpful. All right, and then Coyote came out. And I was just putting away the spirit animal cards from last week, and Coyote was at the bottom of the deck last week on that, reminding us to be more playful. So I'm actually going to read part of this message from Coyote out of this this book. Let's see, this is the Mystical Shaman Oracle deck. So I love that deck with these beautiful images. This is the first Oracle deck I bought, and honestly I think this is the first card that I ever pulled out of it. So fun little fact, little memory there, or a little synchronicity maybe for me. All right, but on to Coyote. All right, so the invitation with Coyote. If Coyote calls to you, this is a time to pay special attention to detours and disappointment, as they are true tests of faith. You have set your intentions and turned them over to Great Spirit, yet you may find yourself lost and confused when it appears you are being led off course, off the path leading to your most cherished dreams and desires. Remember this. Coyote is a sacred trickster and may be leading you into challenges to ensure that you are ready to handle what you've set into motion. Great growth and understanding come to you when Coyote calls your name. All right, so growth and understanding through challenge, maybe more of that observer energy. Again, maybe there is some sort of situation you've been facing and it's been feeling more like a battle. There's been some maybe arguing and combativeness. You've had to be really strong. So maybe now it's time to shift that strength into a little bit of a different mode and in different ways. And maybe looking at some of those challenges right through the eyes of Coyote and seeing it maybe as, all right, what can I learn from this? What do I need to take away from this so I'm ready to handle what's coming into me? So that can be a great way to kind of flip the script on how you feel maybe about some situation or even some people that maybe you're dealing with, or maybe it's just something you're facing on your own or with yourself. Okay. Down here at the bottom. All right, so normally I sort of sneak in an Archangel Michael card to save my page, but today it kind of wanted to flip right out. Right in front of me, so it wasn't a surprise, but that's okay because I almost kept this one for myself, and then I thought there's probably other people that need to hear this message. So your home is protected by angels. And the prayer, Archangel Michael, thank you for watching over my home and its inhabitants. I ask that you post guardian angels at each window and door, ensuring its security. Thank you for guiding my finances so that I can easily afford to pay my rent, mortgage, or taxes. As my throat starts getting scratchy or weird, I don't know if anyone maybe has a little bit of worry or concern over finances or money or just things around the home in general or around the family. Again, maybe there's something you've had to be really strong for. Last night, I kind of had to laugh, and I really appreciate that this card came out today, but last night I was filling out my planner, trying to get more organized. I've had some travel the last few months, and that gets me really just out of routine. I kind of forget about the really basic things that I need to be doing, and sometimes that's bills. Like I'm kind of just off traveling and forget, hey, it's the 1st, or hey, it's the 15th, or whatever day it might be. So I did write down bills and taxes. But I kind of did it in like this forceful, begrudging, like, you know, didn't feel good about it. So, right, maybe getting a better attitude about that, maybe calling in Archangel Michael, maybe it will be better than you think. I'm hopeful for that as well. So that's something on my to-do list later for today. So anyway, that's the prayer from Archangel Michael. Here's that image one more time. So if anyone else needed to hear that as well, it really did just kind of flip and spin right out, show itself prominently. Okay. And then I decided to pull a goddess card today, and out came Artemis, number 2. And number 2 also was associated with the Horus card as well. Independence and empowerment. So Artemis in Greek mythology is a healer, a nurturer, a carer. She's also a hunter, so maybe nature spirits or getting out more in nature. And she's got that deer in her hands, and I don't know if you can see the antlers on the witness card as well. So a lot of symbolism in the images sort of carrying through onto the different cards. So again, bringing in some more of that nurturing energy, more of that caring energy, and more of that inner strength as well with independence and empowerment. We have sort of that outer strength, which feels a little bit more of that masculine energy, and yeah, that sort of inner strength, that inner knowing. But that does come from getting a little quiet, getting a little still, being willing to kind of be with your thoughts, especially if those are about something challenging, right? Notice where you may tend to avoid things or put them off, right? Like I was just telling with my story about my bills and, you know, taxes and different things like that, right? I get distracted about one other thing and then I tend to avoid or put off. And that's a pattern that I know about myself, but obviously there's some information there I need to observe and maybe integrate that. So that brings us to the card out of the herb deck, right? Integrating all these things that you notice and observe, integrating things through challenge. The herb is mullein. Right away, when I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I think I am, mullein. But all I heard right away was mullein, 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 mullein. So, anyone, you're welcome for getting Jolene stuck in your head. But anyway, so integration down here at the base of the reading. So you'll notice the different images, maybe one or two of those pop out to you. I noticed the moon right away. I believe Artemis is also associated with the moon. There's some moons on these other cards as well. I've been doing more things around the moon phases, around the lunar cycles. So that's something that's important to me. But we've also got a moth, a ship, a brain, an acorn, and a heart. So for me, the moon, moth, and heart were the 3 that stuck out the most. But I have been seeing ships lately as well. But this card, again, speaking about integration, you can see at the center of this card there is a web with a spider. And this card spoke about how mullein goes where she's needed, doesn't like to stay where she's not, but can see all the different connections between different things, right? And just see those patterns, see how it's all connected, see something that once you notice it is so obvious, but it's something you haven't really been able to observe before. Maybe again, there's been a little bit too much fighting or action and it's been hard to really notice maybe a pattern, a cycle, or right, some sort of true feelings. So again, noticing how all of these things are connected, right? Mullein would notice how, right, your heart is connected to your head, right? Maybe how your brain is impacted by nature, how nature and the moon are connected, right? How those things maybe help guide some of your transformation and change. Right? How change and transformation are part of your journey, how your journey has impacted your heart. So, right, all of these things kind of going round and round, with really you way at the center, where in the middle of that web, how it all kind of goes into that starting point, that pinpoint, that's you. So really seeing how all of those things, all of those parts are connected. Again, especially if there is a challenge, that's been coming through strong a lot lately, especially with relationships. That's been coming out in quite a bit of the readings. But getting in with that Coyote spirit, I really like that message about just what can you learn, what do you need to grow, what skill and strength do you need to get from that situation so you are ready for the thing that you're actually manifesting in. All right, let's add some more cards to it. Let's start with a spirit animal. Like I said, we had Coyote at the bottom of the deck last week with playfulness. Yeah, so a balance between wisdom and playfulness in this message, right? Maybe noticing, instead of just taking on complete frustration or anger or resistance when you meet challenge, how can you take that step back, get a little bit more of that ease, see it from that observer attitude, and how can you work with that energy instead and maybe flow with challenge? Does that even make sense? Right, but we're always kind of in the flow of some kind of energy. So if challenge is presenting itself to you, right, it's better to take that, right, with that strong mindset, that independence mindset, knowing that you can handle it, right, that this is something that's actually building a skill, building a strength for what is coming. So you are ready. All right. Spirit animal wants to pop out today? We've already got quite a few. We got deer, spider, coyote, cutting the deck with bat. All right. Bat transition. Bat is one of my cardinal adventure at the bottom of the deck. Bat is one of my spirit animals for this year. So transition, that might be an energy playing for me. Maybe that's something, again, going on with this reading for you as well. So let's see. You must pay attention to the signs around you. The transition may seem frightening at first, but you must let go of old habits and patterns that no longer serve your higher calling. They would only hinder your growth. All right, so bat tying in perfectly with the witness and coyote, right? Notice the signs. Notice what's going on around you. Be the observer, right? Even if it's a little scary, a little challenging, but taking that on from that perspective of coyote, right? And what can you do to actually grow from it instead of maybe dipping into old habits, old patterns, old cycles, or just a fear mentality, and maybe shying away, right? Maybe that shadow side of feminine energy, right? Not facing that with that internal quiet confidence that you have. Okay, so bat coming out. All right, let's add an angel tarot to it. Let's see, last week we had the lovers come out from the angel tarot deck. There was a lot of that lovers. Gemini came out. Artemis is actually one of two twins. So that energy slightly carrying back over. And Coyote was kind of giving us a little preview at the bottom of that deck last week as well. So I love it when all those things sync up. All right. Those felt like some good shuffles. All right, let's see what angel can be a good helper this week. And being willing to receive that sort of help or that guidance, being willing to listen to those quiet nudges. That takes some confidence. That takes some trust. That takes strength. All right, 3 of Swords. Okay. Let's see. Let's see if I can pronounce this right. Rahael. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. 3 of Swords, number 39, the quickly forgiving God. Love and submission cures illness, influences paternal love, gives long life. Ooh, I love the messages on those cards. I know typically in a lot of tarot readings when the 3 of Swords comes out, that's about the heartbreak card. I know I had mentioned a lot of the readings had kind of talked about challenges in different relationships. But I love this bringing in some forgiveness energy, which feels a little bit like a feminine energy, but then it does talk about the influences of paternal love, right? And sort of how that masculine energy or paternal energy has influenced yourself, your life. Maybe that's something that you could observe. Maybe that's influenced how you've handled relationships or situations, or how you have viewed strength. Some of that could come down from, again, that father energy. Cures illness, gives long life. So if there's any situation you've been facing or you had a little fear around, right? What a positive message coming out of that one. Rahael. That's what I'm going to say. Okay. Let's add a little bit of tarot to it before we come up with a helpful affirmation for the week. Let's see. Use this Thoth deck, this sort of non-traditional imagery, but I love using these different types of deck, picking up on different visuals from the different artists who interpreted things a different way, right? Maybe they see a connection to some sort of message of the card in a different way than another artist or the traditional card might give, or might kind of give that feeling, that energy. All right, let's add a couple cards to it here. We need to go with this strength energy. Oh, I'm going to drop half of them. Let's see, that's the Lovers on this deck that just about fell out with about 20 other cards. So let's see if I can keep it together here. Because I'm still just kind of playing Jolene in the background of my head. All right. Let's see, cutting the deck with the Fool. So maybe some kind of new beginning is coming up, at hand, on the way, on your mind. All right, oppression. So this coming out with strength, 10 of Wands. So this definitely can be about lessons and burdens, blockages. Can also be about a lot of hard work, putting in a lot of effort and a lot of strength. But again, this coming out with the strength card up at the top, right? This, again, like I've just been saying, more confirmation, feels like some sort of situation that you really have had to work your way through, try to climb your way through. All right. Let's see what else wants to come out here. But there is a portal there, even if it's felt blocked, right? You do have the strength to make your way through. All right, Knight of Cups coming out with the Witness card. Let's see if we can use natural light as the lighting for these videos. So we got to work with what we've got here. All right, so Knight of Cups coming out with this Witness card. This could be, again, like I was saying, really trusting or getting in touch with your intuition. Also, getting in touch with your emotions. I know I had mentioned, I believe I had said this in this reading about maybe avoiding different things. I was using my bills as an example of something that I kind of let slide or forget about. Right now I'm going to pay the price of that and probably have a late fee or two, and that's just like setting me back. And anyway, you get it. But if this is about feelings, or you avoid your feelings, right, whether that's by filling it with addiction, filling up your schedule, just finding literally anything and anything to do. Did you say anything and anything? Right, so anything to do except for, right, get more in touch. This could be something that needs to happen to kind of get through whatever this situation is, especially if you've been doing a lot of really active active actions. My brain is cooperating pretty well this morning here. But if you've been just doing a lot, just doing, right, this is where it might be time to take that step back and really get in touch with those feelings, even if they're deep, because those are signals, those are information. They're trying to tell you something that you might not be willing to hear. Okay, so that's coming through as well. Ooh, I just noticed there's sort of like a peacock at the bottom of this card. All right, and then the Magician coming out with Coyote, the Magus. Now, the Magician is, right, you've got all the tools, you're manifesting, you can get anything you want, but the Magician is also known as the Trickster. So I love that this came out with Coyote. That's so perfect. We're getting really a lot of just good confirmation. Right, just kind of double confirmations of the messages that have already come out and come through. So, right, that just means we're on the right track here with this energy. That just means this could be really helpful if this is something that you, right, take in and work with this week. All right, so that trickster energy, but kind of looking at that both sides again. I'm really just, Coyote is the card this week. I feel like I love that this card came out. I have not seen this one yet before either. When you're running into those challenges, when you are hitting those obstacles, when things aren't going your way, right? Think of that trickster energy and then flip that script. What can you do to work with it? What do you need to learn from the situation so you can get the manifestation that you have been pulling in, that you've been working for, that you've put those 10 wands and all that effort into, that you've put your strength and faith behind? Yeah, disappointment down here. Didn't Coyote tell us? Look at those disappointments. Look at those challenges, those things that haven't maybe quite worked out or have made you sad. All right, let's get one more card. All right. I mean, if you went through the deck and just picked out a card that could be associated with each of these things and what we've been talking about, like these would be the ones, and that's totally the truth, right? This is just right on point, I feel like, today. So I hope there's something here for you, because I definitely can take a couple things away from this reading. But the art card in this deck, which is the Temperance card. This is about balance. This is literally about integration. Okay, the key word on this card, and all of these go just hand in hand. So I'm getting a little bit of chills, a little bit of goosebumps. Right, but blending these things together, again, taking all of these things that are happening through this transition, through any heartbreak, through any fear, through whatever difficult situation you've been through, taking all of that, now that you've been able to stop, look at it, observe it, and integrating it, blending it together, right, bringing in that feminine energy, right, acknowledging how the masculine energy has impacted the way you move, the way you choose to do things, the way you interact with people, the way you treat yourself. And then where's that kind of mother nurturing energy at? Right? It really feels like that needs to be brought in a lot more for whoever is connecting to this reading. Right? Being willing to sit in that energy. That's really where, when both of those are balanced and aligned, when you reach the art of temperance, the art of balance, right? And it can be an art. It takes kind of that constant observation and then making choices, right? You need both of those things to really find that balance at the center, right? But that is where you stop running into all that conflict and feeling like everywhere you go, you're hitting a wall or an obstacle. And instead, you are turning into the magician on that powerful, abundant side, getting out of that trickster side. But again, this is all about, right, how you choose to use this energy, how you choose to create the balance, right? But you do have the sword, right? This is truth, this is honesty, this is clarity, this is confidence. All right. Wow, I love this reading this week. This feels really great, really positive. Let's see here. So now the affirmation for the week. What were we at last week? I deserve happiness. That was really getting your mind to understand what your heart already knows. All right, this week we've got a lot out here, right, with a little more feminine energy, but also that strength. There's been challenge, there's been some obstacles, a little bit of that trickster energy. All right, but here we go. I am capable. What do you think about that one? All right, I am capable. You are capable. You are capable of handling and doing all of this. You are capable of getting through your challenge. You are capable of taking whatever maybe outward confidence that you have been able to have and bringing that more inward, bringing that into a more quiet strength. You are capable of observing your deep, actual feelings. You are capable of handling that. You are capable of noticing your challenges in a little bit of a different light, maybe getting a little bit of a different perspective, right? Using that coyote energy through transition. Right? Nurture yourself, start to see those patterns, those connections, and then begin to actually integrate that. So you can get on the other side of that trickster energy, you can start to balance and manifest, create, right? Your life is your art. All right, so we are capable. That is the affirmation for the week. I really hope there is something here for you. I can't wait to hear what you get up to for the week. All right. Thanks so much for being here. And until next time, peace.